guys, it's whatever Wednesday and you never know what's going to happen, do you? So I'm under orders from my sister to pull this one out. Okay, so I think before we look at this one, we're going to go through some of the other stuff that I've got going on because it is crazy here. So let's start with the pouch. I did not measure my mum's. Oh, I've got it here. So someone asked me and I haven't answered. So what's happening with my pouch? And I got into a bit of trouble because I didn't zoom in last time. So let me zoom you right in. Tap. And I'll stand up here on the stool so I can see. I'll hold it up where we're at. Tap. So you're focusing. So I did this stitching last time. I've still got to do the little yellow flowers and then it's done. I've done this little bit. This might be one of my favorite bits and it reminds me of something that's in one of my mum's hardcover fabric books. Reminds me of some stitching she did there that I absolutely love. That was on display when we did our course. I outlined the gentleman. I did my bits in the tree. I like how they're quite subtle. It's actually textural. You can feel it, but you can't know, you really have to look to see it. On the other side, let me just make sure, because when you move and you're zoomed in like that, it can go out of focus. So they're those flowers. That's all I'm doing on them. I did these ones. I did a little tiny bit of the green, a little bit of green there, and then I did these over here, and that's all I'm doing on here. Now my thoughts are, I do have to, well, it will take me a while because I need to go. I'm going to zoom you back out again. Look away. Don't want you to be sick. Okay. I'm going to line it with a ticking like my mum did. Let's just bring hers over. And while I'm at it, I'll give you the dimensions. So I can't give you inches because I only have centimeters in here. But mum's is about 21 centimeters high and 28 centimeters wide. Probably her piece started off a bit wider because obviously you've got seam allowance. She lined hers and then put the ticking over the top. I'm going to line mine and do the same thing. And I have some ticking over here. So I'm going to use one of these. I don't know which. So I got these from the wonderful Veronica at Triple V Vintage. And I have shared her beautiful, what are they called? Oh, tea-dyed patterned papers. They're wonderful as well. And she now has ticking. And I absolutely love ticking. I can't get ticking here in Italy. I buy it when I go to Australia and I buy it from a lady in the UK occasionally. So now I'm going to be buying it from Veronica at Triple V Vintage. So I got this beautiful, I think it's olive green she calls it. Yes, olive here. And then I think I got another 2 colors. I haven't brought them in. I got the blue, but I got another kind of blue as well. So I'm going to decide, I think I'll have it coming over and I'll line it with a pretty fabric on the inside. So that's what's going to happen with the pouch. So that's my update on the pouch. I'll link Veronica's shop in the description. Really, really nice quality ticking. So the other thing I have completed, I've still got, I think I showed this to you before, have I? I can't remember. Let me zoom you back in. I'll zoom you in. Oh no, that's out. In, Rachel. So I've done another fabric book. I don't know if I showed this one or not, but loving this. I got that from the Linen Garden in the UK ages ago. I got a box. She had just leftover sort of floral fabrics in a box. And yep, so I got that from her. These are just little embroideries that I have. That's one of my flowers. And I just need to put the tie on that one. That's a big pocket with the sandwich thing. That was, I think that was a hanky. Put a flip on there. This is one of the ones I bought in France. Did I show you this one already? I feel like I have. Anyway, I'll show it to you again because you might have forgotten. And I just love all the colors and the pockets. And that's that one. I'm going to add something there. So that one's not quite finished. And then I've got another one on the go because what happens is, that's the cover. It still needs pockets. And then everything is pinned, ready to go. But things still need to happen in this one. So I'm still sort of working on it. You can see all the pins everywhere. So that's what I've got going on at the moment. Oh, that's upside down. I've put it in upside down. Just a sec. Is that upside down? Yes, it is, because that's meant to go that way. Would that be? Yes, that's the right way, I think. No, that's not. That's a side tuck. Anyway. I know it is the right way because that's the right way up for that. I need to put something on there. Oh, I'm putting that on there. And that's all squished up. That's going to be in the center. And I have to decide what to put over there. If anything, you don't have to put stuff everywhere. I love that with the neutrals fabric. And then the clashing pretty botanicals. And then that's that at the back. That's how that's going to work. So I've got a bit of work to do there. And then I took away with me, when we went away for the weekend, I took, let me zoom you back out a little bit. You're going to get a little bit seasick, guys, before we even get crack-a-lackin'. So I did these. I've got my Easter fabrics in. This one is one of my favorites in our digital kits, and it did on the linen. It was a bit pale, but I actually really like it. It gave me scope to add all these things to it. I've added all kinds. I've added that, all of that, and that. And I'm going to come in here and pick up the cross stitch, and I may pick up some of the embroidery over here as well. And all I did there, which I love doing, is I just grabbed 3 fabrics and created a bigger fabric with it, and then put this over the top. And then with this one, I've used Veronica's beautiful olive ticking. I love the colors. And I've added little bits and pieces here and there. This was a little bit faded out on the linen, so I put something over the top of that. And I'm going to pick up little bits and pieces with embroidery. So they still need some work on them. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I probably should zoom out a little bit more. It's a bit of a zoomy business today, isn't it? So no screaming. Okay, so that's that. Now, let's go to the job at hand. That's my update of my stitchiness. Oh, and I've been working every day on my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery because that requires a lot of work. So let's move that out of the way. Try not to get my head in the video. Now I have my old needle book here, and I will show you guys how to make these very soon. I think they're only little, and they're just a smaller version of those bigger fabric books. Okay, so this, I may have pulled this out before. So this, I started this, I went on our blog, and I'll put the blog post up for you. I'll put the link. We don't use the blog anymore. I started this in 2014, and I shared the pictures on, I think it was the 31st of August 2014. This was inspired by Pam Garrison, and she called it her Crazy Summertime Quilt Journal. So basically, I never saw pictures of it extended. We just saw like bunched up pictures like this sort of thing. But she was journaling, I think, her summertime, and she put in lots of vintage embroideries, but probably more of her own embroideries in there. I'll put the link to that as well. I found them all. It took me a while because they're pretty old posts. It was in 2014, I think hers, or 2012. And I wasn't, when I started it, like what I have done is machine stitch, because that's what I was doing at the time. I machine stitched a whole lot of random pieces together, including fabrics. That's a French general linen. And then I had all these big pieces of vintage embroideries, and I have been using the vintage embroideries in my work since the early 2010s, because I was selling my end products, and I was doing markets, and I didn't want to, I was very slow at doing embroidery. I still am slow, but I was even slower. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to have to sell them for, such a big price, because otherwise you wouldn't sell anything. So I'd been collecting the embroideries for a really long time. In fact, I bought that at Peppergreen down in Berrima. It doesn't exist anymore. And her name was Corrine, and she had the most amazing store full of beautiful china and embroideries and stuff from the UK. Now this part here is one of my favorite bits that I did, and it goes over there as well. I don't know if you can see it. I did raw edge hexies in linens, hemps, and I put lace over the top. I think I'm going to do some more of that, so we'll do that together. I think I'm going to take note. And that's a bee, I don't know, from one of the Galpan, or I think I wrote in my blog post I think it was Gail Pan, her little embroideries. Such a super cute bee. Now I had done a very unattractive childlike embroidery there, and I didn't like it because, remember, it was at the beginning of my slow stitching sort of journey, and so I didn't like it. So I've covered that because now I've done Fleur Wood's online course and in-person course, and so of course that's going to influence me a little bit. But so I've added this, I needle turned. I've added bits and pieces just to do some thread painting on, and I'm going to add more colourful cantha stitching and just have fun with it. And it's really going to be a just because kind of piece. I don't know how big it's going to be. I have another piece that I cut off because I was randomly attaching to it, so you can see how, like, and I just literally overlaid them. Now I'm going to be hand stitching them. So we might, these I haven't finished. This, because it's going through multiple layers, and then at the time I was also liking the 70s sheets, and they're very soft, pretty colors, but they are the most horrendous things to stitch through because they have a very tight weave, and I don't know what a combination of fabric, like threads they are, whether they're cotton and polyester, I don't know what, but they are not pleasant to embroider through. And I've done all this embroidery on here that I don't mind, and then whip stitching around it. That was an embroidery that I had, and then I added the stitching around the edges, did some little daisies stitching in there. So I'm going to now come in, I did that embroidery there. So just trying to add bits of my own embroidery and rejoice the vintage embroideries that I had been collecting. So I think we're going to choose a section. I'm not going to finish those because I don't want to hurt my hands. I had no needles still in there. I'm going to choose an area. So first of all, what I might do, which is what I like doing now, is I like to go around those, although you won't see that so well on that one because a lot of it's covered, but I could do a little bit, just go around the edge of this. So I think because it's quite a big piece, not huge, but it's quite a big piece, I might put a hoop here and start stitching around there. And it's not heavy, it doesn't have any kind of backing. I don't know if I'll wheel back it, I don't know what actually it's going to become. It was really just something that Mum's got one, Sarah's going to find it and pull it out. And of course Mum was, and I was only at the beginning, I was only just learning to do all these things, and Mum is a seasoned embroiderer, so she went to town on it, sort of thing. Very confident. Okay, so let me see if I'm on camera. My throat's dry. Okay, I've got lots of wools over here, so I think I'll just choose a colour from there. I think, oh, here's a bag of things too. These must have gone somewhere with me. I don't want any of those colours. Let's choose. I don't know how much stitching I'll get done in this video, but we'll see. Oh, maybe I could use something like that, but then it's very, I might use that on that flower. Oh, we may go off on a tangent and start that. I love this. There's a lot of blue, so no. See this basket here? This has little wools and random threads in. Let's see. Excuse me while I choose. Now that is a Fleur one. Still too similar to what's happening around there. What about if I go bold? I'm going to go bold. This is, I think my sister gifted me a pack with all of these in. I don't actually know where they came from. Okay, I need a threader, and I've got my book here and it's attached. It's good idea to have one where it's attached so you don't lose it. Now this is going to be hard to stay on screen because I'm going to have to lift it. So basically what I'm going to do here is, I'll try not to move it. Am I on screen first of all? No. Okay. As long as the frames, I need to stay there. So I'm just going to, I have a bigger one of these frames somewhere. I come up next to where I went down. You just waste a little bit less thread, and I've got to remind myself the whole way round to do little stitches. So I never, even though I wasn't 100% happy with some of the things that I had done on here, I'm glad that I kept it, because it is something that Sass, Mum and I always wanted to finish. So while I'm stitching, I'll just go through again. I just had random pieces like tray cloths and things, or little hand towels of vintage embroideries or offcuts. Like this was the corner. Someone had, see, it was already cut like that. And I think it was the corner of a pattern, maybe in the center of a tablecloth. So pieces like that, and I just randomly attach them together. And I'm just going to slowly add on. So that, yeah, it's not like one big piece underneath, it's multiple pieces attached. But Sass and I were scrolling through today my Instagram feed, and I didn't even have any recollection. I did show you the one that I started, I think it was in 2018, that then Homespun, when they asked us to do the block of the month, they shared that picture, and it was my incomplete vase with flowers that I shared when we first started our project. And then they said, but you can't use vintage embroideries, because I had put a lot of vintage embroideries in that one, and so we had to design the flowers and embroider them all and then cut them out like they were vintage embroideries for the project. Anyway, we were going through, and Sarah said, she shared it on her Insta story to go, she's like, you did one even earlier than that, and you had it in a frame. And I was like, I must have sold that at the markets. I don't have any recollection of even doing that one. But it was a little floral one, and I basically did a bouquet of flowers with vintage embroideries, I think, in a vase on a slow stitch background, because I had just not long done, as I've always told you, Jude Hill's wonderful Whispering Hearts course. I don't know if she even offers that anymore. It might have been in 2012 when I came across her, and I absolutely loved it. And I gifted the pouch to Mum that I made from it, and then she did the course, and she went from doing stump work embroidery to totally loose, slow stitching, whatever kind of stitching. So, and I was really amazed, actually. I didn't think Mum would like it, but Mum does love texture, and I think that was one of the things that got her. And she is very creative, so it really just suited her right down to the ground, really. And then she now combines it with all of her wonderful embroidery skills that she has. It's a shame that, you know, Mum got to that sort of point older, sort of before. I mean, she was already there when Lulu was born 20 years ago nearly, but we didn't do all of these things like YouTube and stuff like that, and we didn't know about it, and she should have really been going around teaching people. But I think her style has evolved since we discovered Jude Hill, but you know, she's older, and so she's not really so interested in teaching. But she could, I mean, I would go to Mum's lessons to learn her wonderful style. So I think Sass would too. We love what Mum does. It's always got something special in it that, you know, I wouldn't have thought of. So I'm going to go around here. I also think I'm going to go around that edge too as well. And I just think it'll lift it a little bit. I'm also seeing, as I go along, I'm thinking I might do a little bit of some little cantha stitching there or something, or here. You can see how hard it is to pull. Then you can hear the needle struggling to go through. I'm on the 1970s fabric, and the needle really struggles to go through it. I'm actually just going to be really bad. And, oh, that's the door, just a sec. It was a courier. There was a portion of my order that I put in I put it in pretty much straight away when I came back from Australia, so more than a month ago, for my fabrics, and the cotton portion was missing when they delivered it. And first of all, they took a really long time to deliver it, so I assume that they had, because I had ordered stuff before I left, and I asked them to send it on the 7th when I got back and when they reopened from holidays, which they did. So that's why I've always been able to be stocked up. Otherwise, I think I would have been without stuff when I got back from Australia. So anyway, then I put a new order in straight away, and they took forever to send it. And then when I received it, I only received, I'll leave that off, I only received the linen portion of the order. And so then when I contacted them, and they said, oh yeah, we've had trouble. They tried a new courier, and because the TNT FedEx were always delayed. Now I'm going to have to flip over, and then I'll check if I'm back on screen afterwards. They were having trouble with them because they were always a little bit delayed, but they still always delivered. This other company, it's my grumpy courier man that comes. He works for a different company. He's always grumpy and gruff when he drops stuff off. And he came and he just delivered the linen portion. So I contacted them. I said, I've only received the linen portion. I haven't received the cotton. And she said, oh yes, we've had trouble with the new company. It's shipping, and that was on a Thursday, and they said it's shipping on Friday. Well, that was Friday a week ago, more than a week ago. So I've only just received it, and I had to contact her, and she wasn't answering me. And then they don't give you a phone number. And so then I found on one of my invoices the phone number, and I rang, and I got a very rude lady who I think was thinking, how did you get the phone number? But I got the phone number because, you know, normally this lady, the lady that works in the sales office, she always answers straight away. She's very good. Not like me. I'm very bad at answering. Anyone who sends me messages knows you'll have to wait. Especially if you ask me measurements or things like that, you're going to wait a long time because I'll keep forgetting to measure. So, it's just the way I am. I keep thinking I'm going to do better, but I don't do better. I'm very bad, very bad. Anyway, it is what it is. Now, let me check that I'm on camera. Yes. So finally, so how many days is that? That's nearly 2 weeks later. I have received the fabric. In the meantime, I received an order that I placed afterwards, and that all the fabric component of the cotton component of that order is nearly gone because I didn't order that much because I was meant to have the previous order, which had a larger amount. Anyway, it's here, and I was actually fretting about it because I was thinking I don't want to do battle with them, and then I'll have to, you know, contest the payment and say I didn't receive all the order if they didn't. I don't know what their policies are because I've never had any issues. So it's arrived. Long story short, it's arrived. Now I'm debating. I can see the edges of my fabric there. Should I go around it or not? Laziness would say yes, go around it. I think no, because it's underneath. So I'm going to end this off and jump to a larger area. Okay. I need to go and do that little bit, which is kind of annoying because I'll have to stop and start. I tell you what, having it in these frames, thank you Fleur for teaching us in the online course to use these frames. They are wonderful. I like them so much more than the round ones. And for the most part, they're easier to put on and they do hold unless it's really thick. So what I might do now is, I don't want to move my frame right now, so I'm going to go around the central bit, and then I can do the other bit off camera because you don't really need to see it. It's all the same. Just make sure I put a knot, pull it tight, and leave my little tail a little bit longer just in case. Okay, so you don't know what ever is going to happen on a Wednesday. Wednesday is the day, as you know, that I do what I feel like doing. And this was a request by my sister, so we have pulled this out and we are working on it. I wanted to go around this bit. Did I? No, not that bit. I wanted to go around this bit. This bit here. So I'll go around until I run out of thread. And then I think we're going to grab that other thread and start working on some of these flowers. And it's sort of that project, you can just jump around and do bits and pieces as you feel like doing them. Come back, instead of tormenting yourself. You know, some things take a long time, and sitting there, oh, I'm not going to go on until I finish. You might give yourself a prize when you finish. You might say, okay, I can have this prize if I get that finished today. But I think it keeps it more interesting if you work on all little different bits. So now we're into the nice hot pink sort of section of the thread. So this method of doing my little stitches like this, where I come up sort of next to where I went down. Well, I had this piece of Japanese, it was embroidered silk, I think. And it was given to me by my aunt, and she said, make something with it. And I have it somewhere. And I looked on the back, it had beautiful silk embroidered flowers, very fine, very thin threads, just beautiful. And I could not, it was all satin stitch, and I could not see, you know, with satin stitch and you go like that and you do your stitches all next to each other, but you come over like that. And then on the reverse side, what you see is the same, bit messier, but the same on the other side. And there was nothing, I couldn't see anything. So I figured that what they were doing was going down and coming up next to where they went down, because they didn't have the thread coming over on the other side. And that, I thought that's the only way that they can be doing that. But the thing was, the stitches were so fine and tiny, I could barely even see them. So they were literally just catching one thread of the fabric when they were coming up right next to it and just catching one thread of the fabric, so that you couldn't even see any stitches on the reverse side. It was like the flowers were floating on the top. I wish I could find that. I must have it downstairs in a box, and I could show it to you. It was incredible. My mum always did tell me that the Japanese, I imagine the Chinese are too, the artisans are the most incredible embroiderers, and it's very, very neat and perfect. And Mum had a friend that lived there or stayed there for a period of time, and she couldn't get herself into the, embroidery group because they had to invite you if you were good enough. And Mum said she was the most impeccable embroiderer. So she couldn't believe that she wasn't invited. So there you go. There's a bit of info for you. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know, but that's what I've been told. I do see, I have lots of Japanese books, don't I? Embroidery books and things, and they're amazing, just amazing. Which is not my goal to be perfect. I just enjoy doing it. Okay, we're nearly there. And then we might move on to a bit of the flower. It's definitely a pick me up, put me down kind of project. And I may add, it might be a bit like our treasure hunt project sort of thing, in the sense, be a bit more florally than that, but I may put in, you know, some special bits and things that I've found about the place and fabrics that I love. I won't put my 1700s fabrics in it, I don't think, because it might need to be washed. Although I'd have to be very careful, because I don't tend to think that the hand-dyed wools will be that colour fast. I'm not sure about that. I might have to ask my sister if she knows more about them, because she frequents those shops a lot more than I do. So I'll keep that thread out so I remember. And I wanted to do a little bit of this, and I think I will pick up this orangey tone to start off with. Probably shouldn't use such a long amount, because this is not an embroidery thread. I think it's meant for making socks and things. I'll just thread my needle. Should I double it? No, I don't think. I think I'll just use it single. Oh, I might double it, because it's kind of thin, this one. It's not as thick as the other one. Let's double it. Let's see how we go with this. Looks like it might have been one. Oh, did I share? Did we share that? My sister and mum. We share them, so I sometimes don't know where they came from. Let's just get in here. I'm standing while I'm doing this video. I was just checking. I don't think it's too light. I'm going through a very thick, oh, this is where I did some embroidery too that I didn't like. It's funny how your taste changes. Probably in 10 years' time I'll be thinking, what was I thinking doing that? Now this one has quite, this fabric, I got this here in Italy, and it has quite a dark outline, so I might outline the flowers. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. It's kind of hard stitching like this, standing, trying to keep on screen. Okay, yes, I'm liking this. I'll hold it up closer afterwards. The nice thing about using this one doubled too is it's variegated, so I'm getting 2 shades for the price of 1. And because I've got it doubled, what I can do is when I want to end it off, I'll just tie a knot with the 2 strands. So I just have to leave enough to tie the knot. So I'm sort of trying to follow the direction of the petals. Now it is shorter now, so I think I'll tie that off. You can see going over the embroidery I didn't like. It was a teapot and flowers and I didn't like it. It's not me. That was also bothering. I'll cut that off. And so that's, let me hold this up just a sec. Closer. So you can see there, that's where I've done some of the thread painting. I'm going to do all of that colour. That'll take a while. But I just wanted to bring in also some of the cantha stitching, I think, already. I have a favourite colour here. It's not a big piece, but I love that. So I'm going to do a bit of this somewhere. Just to show you different ideas, different things. Of course, you can't get them all finished on video, but you can certainly put down a few ideas. And also, it's a way of not forgetting what you want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to do this up here. I might be better off taking it out of the hoop, I'm not sure. But the hoop is making it nice and easy for you guys to see. I don't do super tiny stitches. Quilters do. Quilters are really good at doing these sorts of stitches. We need a pair of pliers. Oh, I like that because I use this a lot in my first fleur piece. I did lots of cantha stitching in there with this thread and some other variegated ones that really made lovely colour. Oh my goodness, the struggle is real. Sometimes when it's really tough, you just have to do one stitch at a time. Okay, I've got to turn around. Could be also like a bit of an experimental piece where you try out things. Some things you may not like, some things you may. Okay. So I'm going to do, I'll probably do enough rows to finish that thread off. I thought it's kind of hard working like this, so I think I'm going to leave that there. And I'd like to just have a quick look and see where else because it's that kind of project. You're just going to keep moving around everywhere, but I have a lot of space here that needs work. So there's space to add things. And I did bring in somewhere. I brought in, oh here, it's under my needlebook. I brought in a pile of fabrics that I thought I might like to add to this. It's kind of, this quilt's going to be, well this, I don't know what it's going to be. This piece is going to be sort of a bit reflective of the journey. There's some older stuff and then it's going to be the new stuff. I have an old piece of Tilda here. This, I think this is probably left over from our block of the month project, because we could have little scraps of things, not big pieces, little pieces. I feel like I need a little something maybe coming right across there to join those two. So I could put that there and maybe have a little piece of scripty-doo. Even up into there. Oh, kind of like that. And have things going in all different directions, because it's, because mine, it was like this. I've got this monogram there that my mum gave me, and I put there that she actually did it. I think that's going to go there. I have this piece that I could cut out more. Oh, I feel like I'm channeling Kate a little bit here. But no, I'm going to leave space in between mine. I think I like that there. Or should I come down in further? I think I'll do that. I've got my girls to cut this all up. I have quite a bit of this one. I had the Lulu and her friend cut those up this summer. I quite like the, it's like a sort of woolly sort of thing, but I quite like the colour of it. It looks like linen. Let me just check I'm on camera. Oops. Oh, I think so. Yes, I am. This is not. I can move up a little bit. There. Quite liking that. Feel like there needs to be something here, but I do have also lots of these beautiful old bits that need to have somewhere nice to go. I could put that there. It's not quite big enough. No. I like a little bit of space between them, I think, is more me. Quite like that. I'll pin it, because, you know, I might have to think about it and come back to it. Put that there. And I've got that one over there, but I could have more of that. So I didn't even stitch that down. That needs to be stitched. This bit over here. See, there's nothing there. That all needs stuff on it. I'll tell you who else did a beautiful piece, really beautiful piece with all embroideries, is Corinne from To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne. When she did Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, I think it was Down the Garden Path. Corinne, was it Down the Garden Path? She showed us the piece when she came to my brother's, and it was absolutely to die for. I told her I watched the series. I don't think I saw the end because there were so many videos happening and I got lost, but I am planning on going back and watching the whole lot of it. So I could have that there. Put that more over there, over that terrible zigzag stitching that I did there. Maybe that should go in a different direction to that. Yeah, I think I like that more. This is all bunching up too. That all needs to be stitched, pulled out and stitched down. Might move it up a bit higher. And I think I might like something else there, but I don't have a lot of stuff here with me, but I think I'll pin that there. So there we go. Now I just don't have enough hours in my day to finish all the things. And, oh, ow, do my paper crafting as well. Oh, okay. I did hurt myself, so I will not put my finger down on my piece. Okay. Right. So it's coming along. Just very slowly, just add bits here and there. I don't know about that piece because I may find another piece that's better. Like I have, just a minute. In this pile, you're going to die. Well, I'm not going to show you. It's embarrassing. In this pile of lacy stuff, I have, oh, here we go. Found it straight away. Little doily. Isn't that beautiful? Handmade little doily. So, I'm thinking more than that. I could have that. Yeah, that's it. That's going to go there. It's really special, that one. So that's going to go there. That will be stitched down in place. And I'm not necessarily going to put stitching everywhere, just here and there. Okay, well that's I'm liking the look of all this now. I may need a bit of stitching down here. I don't think I want that there. Okay, we'll put that aside for something else. Okay, so that is my video for today. I'll put the links in the description box. Whose links were I was going to put Pam. I was going to put my link. Anybody else? Pam Garrison. Her crazy summertime quilt. Oh, and the link where I shared this one when it was slightly bigger, and I've chopped off a bit because I may re-add it, but I just preferred to start working with this as a rectangle. It's not quite a square. I will try to, I'll take note that we will do this, something like this together somewhere else, because that was really fun and I really like how that turned out. So we'll do that together, and there we have it. So a little bit of progress has been made. I'll stitch those things on and then slowly start working on it. So I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Next Wednesday, it could be a bit of paper crafting. I'm not sure. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When I'm working on the same project as I've worked on before, just say I brought this out again, I'm going to take a photograph, and that thumbnail will always be the same. So you'll know it's that project. So if I work on the journals that I worked on, I think I did them last week, I might do some work on them next week. I will put the same thumbnail, so that way you know it's the same project. Okay, so there we go. Have a great Wednesday, and I will see you again soon. Bye.